The galactic miscalculation. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, countless civilizations had risen and fallen, their fates intertwined in a complex web of alliances, trade agreements, and cold wars. Among these, the Zarkonian Empire stood as a beacon of technological advancement and military might. Their sleek, biomechanical ships patrolled the cosmic seas, striking fear into the hearts of lesser species and maintaining a fragile peace through the threat of overwhelming force. High above the Zarkonian homeworld of Zarkon Prime, the Imperial Council convened in their floating citadel. The chamber buzzed with anticipation as holographic displays flickered to life, revealing star charts and tactical readouts. At the center of it all stood High Commander Vexera, her iridescent scales shimmering under the pale blue light of the council chamber. Esteemed members of the Imperial Council, Vexera began, her voice carrying a hint of excitement. I come before you today with a proposition that will cement our place as the undisputed rulers of this galactic arm. The councilors leaned forward, their compound eyes fixed on the High Commander. Vexera gestured, and a holographic display zoomed in on a small blue planet in an unremarkable solar system. Behold Earth, she announced. A planet teeming with resources, strategically located, and most importantly, defenseless. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Earth was not unknown to the galactic community, but it had always been considered a backwater world, barely worth notice. The humans had yet to achieve faster-than-light travel, and their primitive radio transmissions painted a picture of a species still grappling with internal conflicts and environmental challenges. Councillor Zyktar, a venerable strategist known for his caution, raised a clawed appendage. High Commander, with all due respect, why waste our resources on such an insignificant world? There are richer prizes to be had. Vexera's mandibles clicked in amusement. Ah, but therein lies the brilliance of this plan, esteemed Zyktar. Earth's very insignificance is what makes it the perfect target. No one will expect it, and no one will come to their aid. She manipulated the holographic display, bringing up images of Earth's cities, its militaries, and its nascent space program. Look at their defenses: crude projectile weapons, primitive aircraft, and a handful of fragile satellites. They have no energy shields, no antimatter cannons, not even a lunar outpost. It will be like taking candy from a newborn Grachthy. The council chamber filled with chittering laughter at the comparison to the notoriously helpless infant form of the Grachthy species. Even Zyktar's mandibles twitched in amusement. Vexera continued, her voice growing more impassioned. But the ease of conquest is not the only reason to target Earth. Our long-range scans have detected vast deposits of rare minerals in their crust, including significant amounts of element 115, which, as you know, is crucial for our latest advancements in FTL technology. This revelation sent a ripple of excitement through the council. Element 115 was becoming increasingly scarce in known space, and its acquisition often led to costly skirmishes with other advanced civilizations. Furthermore, Vexera added, the humans themselves could prove to be a valuable resource. Our xenobiologists have studied their physiology and found them to be remarkably adaptable. They could serve as an excellent labor force for our more hazardous operations. The Council's overseer of resources, a bulbous creature named Globnik, gurgled with approval. The potential return on investment is most appealing, High Commander. But what of the other galactic powers? Surely they will not stand idly by as we claim such a prize. Vexera's eyes glinted with cunning. That, esteemed Globnik, is perhaps the most brilliant aspect of this plan. Earth lies in a region of space that has long been considered a neutral zone. No major power has laid claim to it, precisely because it appeared so unremarkable. By the time anyone realizes what we've done, it will be too late. We'll have established a foothold in a strategically vital location, with minimal risk and maximum reward. The council chamber buzzed with excited chatter as the members discussed the implications of Vexera's proposal. The High Commander stood patiently, knowing that she had them booked. After a few moments, the Imperial Overlord himself, a being of such advanced cybernetic enhancement that little of his original form remained visible, raised a hand for silence. High Commander Vexera. The Overlord's synthesized voice reverberated through the chamber. Your plan is audacious, and the potential benefits are undeniable. However, I must ask, why has no one attempted this before? Surely we are not the first to recognize Earth's vulnerability. Vexera bowed deeply before responding. An excellent question, Your Eminence. The truth is, there have been rumors, whispers of failed expeditions, and lost scout ships in Earth's vicinity. But upon investigation, we found no credible evidence to support these tales. They appear to be nothing more than spacers' ghost stories, likely spread by less advanced species to discourage exploration of the region. The Overlord's cybernetic eyes wared as they focused on Vexera. And you are certain of this? As certain as one can be, Your Eminence, Vexera replied confidently. We have conducted extensive long-range surveillance of Earth for the past 5 solar cycles. We have intercepted and decoded their communications, analyzed their defensive capabilities, and even abducted a few specimens for study. All evidence points to a species ripe for conquest. The Imperial Overlord remained silent for a long moment, his circuits humming as he processed the information. Finally, he spoke. Very well, High Commander. You have made a compelling case. Prepare your invasion force. You will have the full backing of the Empire in this endeavor. Excitement surged through Vexera, but she maintained her composure. Thank you, Your Eminence. I assure you, the Zarkonian flag will fly over Earth before their next solar rotation is complete. As the council adjourned, Vexera allowed herself a moment of private celebration. This would be her crowning achievement, the conquest that would etch her name in the annals of Zarkonian history. Little did she know that far away, on the small blue planet she thought defenseless, forces beyond her comprehension were stirring. In the depths of a hidden facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, alarms began to sound. General Elena Rodriguez, head of Earth's ultra-secret extraterrestrial defense initiative, EDI, stared at the holographic display showing the approaching Zarkonian fleet. A grim smile played across her lips as she turned to her staff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems our guests have finally decided to RSVP. Initiate Protocol Omega. Let's show these aliens why Earth is the galaxy's best-kept secret. As the facility hummed to life, activating defenses that no alien race had ever survived to report, the stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of galactic society. The Zarkonians were about to learn why Earth, despite its apparent vulnerability, had never truly been conquered. First contact gone wrong. The Zarkonian invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, a breathtaking armada of biomechanical ships that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. At the helm of the flagship Inexorable Destiny, High Commander Vexera surveyed the holographic display of the system with a mixture of anticipation and disdain. Primitive, she muttered, her compound eyes focusing on the blue planet third from the sun. They haven't even colonized their own moon. This will be easier than we thought. Her second-in-command, Sub-Commander Krulvor, chittered in agreement. Our long-range scans confirm no significant orbital defenses, High Commander. Their primitive satellites pose no threat to our ships. Vexera's mandibles clicked in amusement. Very well. Commence Phase 1. Send in the stealth probes. Let's get a closer look at our soon-to-be subjects. As the sleek, near-invisible probes detached from the fleet and sped towards Earth, Vexera allowed herself to imagine the accolades that would soon be hers. The conquest of Earth would be swift, decisive, and most importantly, a statement to the rest of the galaxy that the Zarkonian Empire was a force to be reckoned with. Little did she know that deep within the bowels of Cheyenne Mountain, General Elena Rodriguez was watching the Zarkonian fleet's every move. They've launched probes, ma'am, reported Lieutenant Sarah Chen, her fingers dancing across a holographic interface. Stealth tech, just as we expected. Rodriguez nodded, her face illuminated by the soft blue glow of the command center's displays. Let them come. Activate the Mirage Net, but keep our other defenses dark. We want them to think they've got the element of surprise. Across the globe, hidden quantum emitters sprang to life, weaving an intricate tapestry of false sensor readings and illusory data. To the approaching Zirconian probes, Earth would appear exactly as they expected. A vulnerable, technologically backward world ripe for conquest. Back on the inexorable destiny, Vexera reviewed the incoming data from the probes with growing confidence. Look at these pitiful excuses for cities, she scoffed, gesturing to the holographic images of Earth's urban centers. No energy shields, no anti-gravity towers. They're practically begging to be conquered. Krelvor, however, seemed less certain. High Commander, something doesn't feel right. Our intelligence suggested they had rudimentary detection capabilities, yet they've shown no sign of noticing our probes. Vexera dismissed his concerns with a wave of her clawed hand. Of course they haven't noticed, you overgrown larva. Their technology is centuries behind ours. Now prepare the first wave. I want boots on the ground within the next planetary rotation. As the Zirconian fleet moved into position, the tension in Cheyenne Mountain's command center was palpable. General Rodriguez paced back and forth, her eyes never leaving the main display. They're taking the bait, she murmured. Lieutenant Chen, status of the Artemis platforms. Chen's fingers flew across her console. All Artemis platforms are green, ma'am. Weapon systems are hot, but emitters are cold. They won't see us coming. Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. The Artemis platforms, a network of advanced defense satellites disguised as space debris, were humanity's first line of defense against extraterrestrial threats. Powered by zero-point energy and armed with gravity weapons reverse-engineered from crashed alien ships, they were more than a match for anything the Zirconians could throw at them. Very good. Now we wait for them to make their move. They didn't have to wait long. Within hours, the Zirconian fleet began its descent into Earth's atmosphere. Hundreds of dropships, each carrying dozens of alien soldiers, streaked across the sky like meteors. Vexera watched with glee as the invasion force entered Earth's atmosphere unopposed. You see, Krelvor, no resistance, no desperate last stand. They probably think this is some sort of natural phenomenon. But as the dropships approached their designated landing zones, something unexpected happened. The sky itself seemed to come alive with light. In Cheyenne Mountain, Rodriguez barked out a single command. Artemis, engage. Across the globe, the dormant Artemis platforms sprang to life. Beams of concentrated gravitational energy lanced out, catching the Zirconian dropships in their merciless grip. Ships that moments ago had been streaking confidently towards Earth now found themselves twisted and crushed by forces they couldn't comprehend. On the bridge of the inexorable destiny, alarms blared as tactical displays lit up with the signatures of hundreds of defense platforms that hadn't been there moments before. Impossible, Vexera screeched, her composure evaporating. Where did these defenses come from? Krelvor, report. But Krelvor was too busy trying to make sense of the cascade of data flooding their systems. High Commander, we're losing dropships at an alarming rate. These aren't primitive weapons. They're using technology that rivals or even exceeds our own. Vexera's mind raced. This wasn't supposed to happen. Earth was defenseless, primitive. How could they have hidden such advanced technology? Launch the second wave, she commanded. Overwhelmed them with numbers. But as the second wave of dropships descended, they met an even more terrifying defense. The very air seemed to ignite around them as Earth's atmospheric plasma defense grid activated. Superheated tendrils of ionized gas reached out, melting through the Zirconian ships' hulls as if they were made of wax. In Cheyenne Mountain, Rodriguez watched the carnage with grim satisfaction. Looks like our guests are having some trouble with the welcoming committee. Lieutenant Chen, prepare to deploy the Valkyries. Chen's eyes widened. The Valkyries, ma'am. Are you sure that's necessary? Rodriguez nodded solemnly. We need to send a message, one they won't soon forget. High above the earth, cloaked hangars on the dark side of the moon opened, releasing swarms of sleek angular craft. The Valkyries, Earth's most advanced space fighters, streaked towards the beleaguered Zarkonian fleet, their phase shift drives allowing them to dance between dimensions and appear seemingly out of nowhere. On the bridge of the inexorable destiny, Vexera watched in horror as her mighty invasion force was decimated. Dropships fell from the sky like rain, while those that managed to land found themselves facing off against mechs and energy weapons wielded by human soldiers in powered armor. This is impossible, she muttered, her earlier bravado completely evaporated. How could we have been so wrong? Krillvor, to his credit, was already organizing a retreat. High Commander, we must withdraw. We've lost over 70% of our invasion force, and our capital ships are taking heavy damage from weapons we can't even detect. Vexera knew he was right, but the thought of retreat, a failure, was almost too much to bear. As she opened her mouth to give the order, a new alarm blared. Multiple bogies approaching at high speed. One of the bridge officers shouted, They're coming from the moon. The Valkyries tore into the Zarkonian fleet like wolves among sheep. Their quantum-entangled weapons bypassed shields entirely, striking directly at the ship's vital systems. Capital ships that had stood strong against the combined might of entire alien civilizations now found themselves crippled or destroyed by craft a fraction of their size. In Cheyenne Mountain, Rodriguez watched as the Zarkonian fleet began a hasty, disorganized retreat. They're running, she announced to her staff. Let them go. We've made our point. As the remnants of the once mighty invasion force limped back into hyperspace, Vexera stared blankly at the view screen, still showing the serene blue orb of Earth. How, she whispered, how could we have been so wrong? Little did she know that back on Earth, in hidden facilities around the globe, humans were already beginning to reverse engineer the technology from the downed Zarkonian ships. Earth's defenses, formidable as they were, would soon become even stronger. The galaxy at large was about to learn a valuable lesson. Earth was not to be trifled with, and the age of human isolation was coming to an end. The hidden history. In the aftermath of the failed Zarkonian invasion, Earth buzzed with activity. While the general public remained blissfully unaware of how close they had come to alien domination, hidden facilities around the globe were working overtime to process the wealth of new information and technology acquired from the downed Zarkonian ships. Deep within the Extraterrestrial Defense Initiative's primary research facility, nestled in the heart of the Australian outback, Dr. Aisha Patel pored over the alien data cores. Her eyes, augmented with neural link contact lenses, flicked rapidly through streams of information that would be incomprehensible to most humans. This is incredible, she muttered to herself, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. Their technological base is so different from ours, yet in many ways so similar. A soft chime announced the arrival of General Rodriguez. The EDI leader strode into the lab, her face a mask of determination. Talk to me, Dr. Patel. What have we learned? Aisha turned to face the general, her eyes still flickering with data streams. It's fascinating, Elena. The Zarkonians believed they were dealing with a primitive, defenseless world. Their intelligence on us was shockingly outdated. Rodriguez nodded grimly. That was by design. Operation Smokescreen has been in effect for over a century. But I need to know, how did they find us? And why now? Aisha gestured, and a holographic star map sprang to life between them. From what I've decrypted, Earth lies in what they consider a galactic backwater. We're off the main trade routes, away from the centers of alien civilization. For most species, we simply weren't worth the effort. But something changed, Rodriguez prompted. Indeed, Aisha confirmed. Their long-range scans detected significant deposits of what they call Element 115, a super-heavy element crucial for their most advanced technologies. Apparently, it's becoming scarce in known space. Rodriguez's eyes narrowed, and suddenly, we became worth the effort. Aisha nodded, then hesitated. There's more, Elena. The Zarkonians weren't the first to try this. I found references to other attempted invasions, all repelled, all covered up. The general sighed heavily, seeming to age years in moments. I suppose it's time you knew the whole truth, Aisha. Come with me. Rodriguez led Aisha through a series of secure doors, each requiring increasingly complex biometric scans. Finally, they entered a room that hummed with power, its walls lined with technology that looked far beyond even EDI's advanced standards. Welcome, Rodriguez said, her voice tinged with both pride and solemnity, to the heart of Prometheus. Aisha gasped, her augmented eyes struggling to process what she was seeing. This isn't human technology, is it? Rodriguez shook her head. Not originally. No. What I'm about to tell you goes beyond top secret. The fate of humanity rests on this information remaining contained. The general activated a central holographic display, showing a timeline that stretched back thousands of years. Humanity has been fighting off alien incursions for millennia, Aisha. The ancient myths of gods and monsters. Many were inspired by extraterrestrial visitors, some peaceful, others not so much. Images flashed by. Ancient cave paintings depicting battles with strange creatures, medieval tapestries showing knights fighting what looked suspiciously like mechanized armor, blurry photographs from the 20th century of disc-shaped objects in the sky. But it was in 1947 that everything changed. Rodriguez continued. The Roswell incident wasn't a weather balloon, or even a single crashed ship. It was the site of our first major victory against an alien invasion force. Aisha's mind reeled. But how? We didn't have the technology. We didn't, Rodriguez agreed. But we had something that, time and time again, has proved to be humanity's greatest asset: adaptability. The holographic display shifted, showing images of early reverse-engineered alien technology. We took their weapons, their power sources, their advanced materials, and we learned. We adapted. We improved. And most importantly, we prepared for the next attack. Aisha watched in awe as the timeline progressed, showing the rapid advancement of human technology in secret, the space race, the digital revolution. All guided by what we learned, Rodriguez confirmed. We couldn't reveal the truth to the public. The panic would have torn society apart. So we fed the advances into the public sphere gradually, always staying a few steps ahead in secret. The general's face hardened. But we knew we couldn't stay hidden forever. That's why, in 2020, the Extraterrestrial Defense Initiative was formed, a global, secret organization dedicated to protecting Earth from the threats we knew were coming. Aisha's mind was spinning. The Artemis platforms, the plasma defense grid, the Valkyries. How did we keep all of this hidden? Rodriguez smiled grimly. That's where Operation Smokescreen came in. We've been actively broadcasting false information into space for decades. Outdated technology reports, fake military data, even artificially primitive communications. To any watching eyes, Earth would appear to be a backward, squabbling world barely worth notice. And the element 115? Aisha asked. A double-edged sword, Rodriguez admitted. We discovered its potential early on, but we also realized it would make us a target. We've been stockpiling it in secret, using it to power our most advanced defenses. Aisha fell silent, processing the weight of this revelation. Finally, she spoke. Why tell me all this now? Rodriguez's expression was grave. Because the game has changed, Aisha. The Zarkonians will report back to their empire. Word will spread. We may have won this battle, but the war is just beginning. She gestured to the vast array of technology surrounding them. This is why I brought you here. Project Prometheus isn't just about defense anymore. It's time for humanity to take its place on the galactic stage, on our terms. Aisha's eyes widened as she realized the implications. You're talking about expansion, Rodriguez confirmed. Exploration, maybe even preemptive strikes against those who would threaten us. But to do that, we need to push our technology even further. That's where you come in. The general placed a hand on Aisha's shoulder. You're one of our brightest minds, Dr. Patel. I need you to lead our new research division. Take what we've learned from the Zarkonians, combine it with everything in the Prometheus database, and help us create the next generation of human technology. Aisha stood straighter, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. I'm honored, General. But where do we even start? Rodriguez smiled, a glint of excitement in her eyes. We start by doing what humanity does best, adapting, improving, and preparing for whatever the galaxy throws at us next. As they turned to leave the heart of Prometheus, Aisha couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and exhilaration. Humanity's hidden history was a tale of constant struggle and incredible ingenuity. Now, as they stood on the brink of a new era, she wondered what chapters they would write next. Little did they know, far across the galaxy, the surviving Zarkonians were sharing their own tale, a cautionary story of the small blue planet that had humbled their mighty empire. And in the shadows between the stars, other forces were stirring, their attention now firmly fixed on the world that had remained a mystery for so long. The true test of humanity's preparedness was yet to come. The final assault. 6 months had passed since the Zarkonian invasion attempt, and Earth had been anything but idle. In secret facilities around the globe, human scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of technology with their newfound knowledge. Dr. Aisha Patel stood in the control room of the Prometheus testing facility, her eyes fixed on the massive viewscreen before her. Outside, in the vast underground chamber, stood the fruits of their labor, the XS-1 Excalibur, Earth's first true interstellar warship. Beautiful, isn't she? General Rodriguez's voice came from behind Aisha. The EDI leader approached, her face a mixture of pride and concern. Aisha nodded, her augmented eyes taking in every detail of the sleek obsidian vessel. She's more than that, Elena. She's our future. Rodriguez sighed heavily. Let's hope she's ready. Our long-range sensors have picked up a massive energy signature entering the solar system. It seems the Zarkonians weren't content with just one defeat. Aisha's eyes widened. They're back. So soon. And in force, Rodriguez confirmed grimly. This isn't just an invasion fleet. From what we can tell, they've brought a significant portion of their entire empire. They mean to end this once and for all. As if on cue, alarms began to blare throughout the facility. Lieutenant Chen's voice came over the intercom, tense but controlled. General Rodriguez to the command center immediately. The Zarkonian fleet has been detected crossing the Kuiper Belt. Rodriguez turned to Aisha, her face set with determination. This is it, Doctor. Everything we've prepared for. Are you ready? Aisha took a deep breath, steadying herself. As ready as we'll ever be. Together, they rushed to the command center. The scene that greeted them was one of controlled chaos. Holographic displays showed the approaching Zarkonian armada, a vast swarm of ships that seemed to blot out the stars themselves. Status report, Rodriguez barked as she entered. Chen's fingers flew across her console. The Zarkonian fleet is massive, ma'am. We're counting over 10,000 ships, including what appears to be their flagship, a vessel nearly the size of the moon. Rodriguez's jaw tightened. They're not taking any chances this time. Initiate Omega Protocol. I want every Artemis platform, every Valkyrie squadron, and every ground-based defense system online and ready. As the Earth's defenses sprang to life, the Zarkonian fleet entered the inner solar system. On board the massive flagship Eternal Dominion, High Commander Vexera stood before her war council, her mandibles clicking with barely contained rage. The humans made fools of us once, she hissed. It will not happen again. This time, we bring the full might of the Zarkonian Empire. We will reduce their cities to ash, their oceans to steam, and their people to memory. One of her advisors, a grizzled veteran of 100 conquests, spoke up. High Commander, with all due respect, we still know little about their true capabilities. Perhaps we should. Vexera silenced him with a glare. We will crush them utterly. No hesitation, no mercy. Commence the attack. Back on Earth, the tension in the command center was palpable as they watched the Zarkonian fleet approach. Suddenly, the enemy ships began to launch what looked like massive projectiles towards the planet. Incoming, Chen shouted. Multiple Planet Cracker-class kinetic impactors detected. Rodriguez's voice was steel. Artemis platforms, priority targets. Take them out. The space around Earth lit up as the hidden defense satellites revealed themselves, their gravity weapons lashing out at the incoming projectiles. Most were destroyed, but a few got through, slamming into the planet with terrifying force. The ground shook, even in the depths of the command center. Aisha steadied herself against a console. We can't take many hits like that, she said, her voice tight. Rodriguez nodded grimly. We won't have to. Valkyrie squadrons, launch. XS-1 Excalibur, you are clear for takeoff. Show these bastards what humanity is truly capable of. As the Earth's defenders engaged the Zarkonian fleet, the battle quickly became a chaotic melee. Valkyrie fighters darted between massive alien capital ships, their phase shift drives allowing them to appear and disappear at will, striking with pinpoint accuracy. The XS-1 Excalibur rose from its hidden hangar, its advanced stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible. Captain Zara Ahmed, hand-picked to command Earth's first starship, set her jaw as she surveyed the battlefield. Weapons hot, she commanded. Let's introduce ourselves, shall we? The Excalibur's main cannon, powered by refined element 115, fired a beam of concentrated energy that cut through Zarkonian ships like a hot knife through butter. The alien fleet, for all its numbers, found itself facing an enemy that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once. On the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, Vexera watched in growing horror as her fleet was decimated. Impossible, she muttered. Their technology. It's beyond anything we've ever encountered. Her tactical officer, panic evident in his voice, reported, High Commander, we're detecting energy signatures throughout the system. The humans. They've weaponized entire planets. Indeed, as the Zarkonians pressed their attack, they found themselves facing defenses they couldn't have imagined. The moons of Jupiter pulsed with energy, unleashing electromagnetic pulses that disabled entire squadrons. The rings of Saturn concealed mass drivers that launched asteroids at relativistic speeds, each impact equivalent to a nuclear strike. But the Zarkonians were not easily defeated. Their numbers were vast, and their determination fueled by wounded pride. For every ship they lost, they managed to land blows of their own. Earth's atmospheric defense grid flickered under the onslaught, and reports of alien drop pods making landfall began to pour in. In the command center, Rodriguez watched the battle unfold with a mixture of pride and concern. We're holding our own, she said, but we can't keep this up forever. We need to end this decisively. Aisha, who had been analyzing the enemy flagship, suddenly straightened. I think I have an idea, she said, her augmented eyes flickering with calculations. Their flagship, the Eternal Dominion. It's not just a ship. It's the nerve center for their entire fleet. Rodriguez caught on immediately. If we can take it out, we can end this war in one stroke, Aisha finished. The general nodded, then opened a channel to the Excalibur. Captain Ahmed, new orders. We're sending you targeting data for the enemy flagship. Take it out, by any means necessary. Understood, General, came Ahmed's crisp reply. We're on it. As the Excalibur maneuvered through the chaotic battlefield, Earth's defenders rallied, focusing their efforts on creating a path for their champion. Valkyrie squadrons flew suicide runs to draw fire away from the stealth ship, while the Artemis platforms concentrated their fire on any Zarkonian vessel that strayed too close. On board the Eternal Dominion, Vexera was beginning to realize the magnitude of her mistake. "Prepare for emergency hyperspace jump," she commanded. "We must regroup and—" Her words were cut short as the ship rocked violently. Alarms blared as the tactical officer shouted, "Unknown vessel detected. It's fired some kind of—" Oh, gods of Zarkon! The Excalibur's main cannon, powered by the combined genius of human and reverse-engineered alien technology, fired a beam of such intense energy that it bypassed the Eternal Dominion's shields entirely. The massive flagship's hull began to buckle and tear, secondary explosions rippling along its length. Vexera, watching her empire's greatest achievement crumble around her, could only stare in disbelief. "How?" she whispered. "How could they have advanced so quickly?" As the Eternal Dominion broke apart, its destruction visible even from Earth's surface, the remaining Zarkonian fleet fell into disarray. Without the centralized command of their flagship, individual ship captains began to retreat, jumping to hyperspace in a desperate bid to escape. In the command center, a cheer went up as they watched the enemy fleet scatter. Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile before turning to Aisha. "It's not over yet," she said soberly. "But we've bought ourselves some time. And we've sent a message to the galaxy at large." Aisha nodded, her mind already racing with the possibilities this victory presented. "We've done more than that, Alina. We've changed everything. Humanity is ready to take its place among the stars." As the last of the Zarkonian ships disappeared from their sensors, leaving behind a debris field that would serve as a monument to human ingenuity and determination, both women knew that this was just the beginning. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for the last time. And now, with the bones of a shattered empire drifting in orbit around their world, Earth stood ready to emerge from the shadows and shape its own destiny among the stars. A new galactic order. In the months following the decisive victory over the Zarkonian Empire, Earth underwent a transformation unlike anything in human history. The veil of secrecy that had shrouded humanity's true technological capabilities for decades was finally lifted, sending shockwaves through every facet of society. Dr. Aisha Patel stood before the United Nations General Assembly, her augmented eyes scanning the faces of world leaders and dignitaries from every corner of the globe. The atmosphere was electric with a mixture of excitement, fear, and anticipation. "Distinguished delegates," Aisha began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "For centuries, humanity has looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Today, we not only know the answer to that question, but we stand at the threshold of a new era for our species." Holographic displays sprang to life around her, showing images of the recent battle, of reverse-engineered alien technology, and of Project Prometheus's achievements. "The threat we faced was real, and it was dire," she continued. "But through the collective efforts of the best minds from every nation, working in secret for generations, we not only survived, we triumphed." Murmurs rippled through the assembly as the full scope of what had been hidden from the public began to sink in. Aisha pressed on, her words carefully chosen to inspire rather than intimidate. "Now we have a choice to make. Do we retreat back into isolation, hoping the galaxy will leave us alone? Or do we seize this opportunity to take our rightful place among the stars?" As Aisha laid out the proposal for a united Earth government and a plan for controlled disclosure to the public, General Rodriguez watched from a secure location, her face a mask of determination. She knew that the coming days and weeks would be crucial in shaping humanity's future. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, news of the Zarkonian Empire's defeat spread like wildfire. In the grand halls of the Galactic Conclave, representatives from 100 alien civilizations debated the implications of this upstart species that had so thoroughly humbled one of the most powerful empires in known space. Ambassador Zilax of the Arcturian Confederation addressed the assembly, his tentacles waving for emphasis. "We can no longer ignore the humans," he declared. Their victory over the Zarkonians proves they are a force to be reckoned with. We must decide how to approach them, as potential allies or as a threat to galactic stability. The debate raged for days, with factions forming among those who saw opportunity in human ingenuity and those who feared the rapid advancement of such an unpredictable species. Back on Earth, as governments grappled with the monumental task of preparing their citizens for the reality of a galaxy teeming with alien life, the Extraterrestrial Defense Initiative was undergoing its own transformation. In a secure briefing room, Rodriguez addressed her top staff. "Our mission has changed," she said, her voice firm. "We are no longer just Earth's secret defenders. We are now the vanguard of humanity's expansion into the stars." She gestured to a star map, highlighting potential colonies and strategic locations. "Project Exodus begins now. We'll establish outposts on Mars, Europa, and beyond." The XS-1 Excalibur was just the beginning. "We're commissioning an entire fleet of interstellar vessels." As the briefing continued, detailing plans for diplomatic outreach, scientific exploration, and yes, military preparedness, Aisha found her mind wandering to the broader implications of their new reality. Later, she and Rodriguez stood in the heart of Prometheus, surrounded by the technology that had saved humanity and would now propel it to the stars. "We're really doing this," Aisha said, a note of awe in her voice. "We're becoming a spacefaring civilization." Rodriguez nodded, her expression a mixture of pride and concern. "We are. But we need to be careful. The galaxy is a dangerous place, Aisha. We've proven we can defend ourselves, but we're still newcomers on the cosmic stage." Aisha's augmented eyes flickered with data streams as she processed the latest reports from their deep space probes. "Some of the alien civilizations out there have been spacefaring for millennia. We have so much to learn. And so much to offer," Rodriguez added. "Our adaptability, our creativity. These are our greatest strengths. We need to leverage them as we make our first steps into the galactic community." As if on cue, an alert chimed. Lieutenant Chen's voice came over the intercom, excitement evident in her tone. "General, Doctor, we're receiving a transmission. It's from the Galactic Conclave. They're requesting official first contact." Rodriguez and Aisha shared a look of momentous understanding. This was it, the moment humanity would officially join the galactic stage. "Patch it through," Rodriguez commanded. A holographic image materialized before them. A being of obvious alien origin, its form both beautiful and utterly foreign. "Greetings, people of Earth," the alien ambassador began, its voice translated by advanced software. "On behalf of the Galactic Conclave, we extend an invitation for dialogue and mutual understanding." As Rodriguez stepped forward to respond, Aisha felt a swell of emotion. This was more than just first contact. It was the culmination of humanity's long, secret struggle and the beginning of a new chapter in their history. In the days and weeks that followed, Earth became a hub of activity. Diplomatic delegations from across the galaxy arrived, each eager to establish relations with the species that had so thoroughly upset the galactic status quo. Human scientists worked alongside alien counterparts, exchanging knowledge and pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. The reverse engineering projects that had been Earth's secret advantage for so long now became collaborative efforts, leading to breakthroughs that benefited all species. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Some alien factions viewed humanity's rapid rise with suspicion and fear. There were skirmishes on the fringes of human-controlled space, tense diplomatic standoffs, and the constant threat of those who would seek to subjugate or destroy the newcomers to galactic politics. Through it all, humanity's spirit of adaptability and determination shone through. Earth's first extrasolar colony was established within a year, a testament to the incredible pace of human advancement, now that the shackles of secrecy had been removed. 5 years after the Zarkonian invasion, Aisha found herself standing on the observation deck of Harmony Station, the massive space habitat that served as neutral ground for galactic diplomacy. Earth gleamed like a jewel in the distance, while ships of 100 alien designs docked and departed in a constant dance of interstellar commerce and cooperation. Rodriguez joined her, the years having added a few more gray hairs, but done nothing to dim the fire in her eyes. "Did you ever imagine we'd come this far, this fast?" she asked. Aisha shook her head, smiling. "Never. But that's always been humanity's gift, hasn't it? Exceeding expectations, even our own." As they watched a sleek ship of obvious human design prepare to depart on a mission of exploration to uncharted space, both women felt a sense of pride and purpose. Humanity had faced its trial by fire and emerged stronger than ever. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, seen it as an easy target or an insignificant backwater. Now it was a rising power, a force for innovation and change in a cosmic order that had grown stagnant. The road ahead would not be easy. There would be challenges, conflicts, and hard choices to make. But as Aisha and Rodriguez looked out at the star-studded expanse before them, they knew one thing for certain. Humanity was ready. Ready to face whatever the universe might throw at them. Ready to learn, to grow, and to take their place among the stars. The age of Earth's isolation was over. The era of human ascendancy had begun. And the galaxy would never be the same again.